Charles Sheldon was the leader of the social gospel movement. The social gospel movement put emphasis on parables such as the Good Samaritan, which supported helping others with kindness and respect, and the parable of the Great Judgment Day, in which Jesus would judge everyone. This gave many believers a false concept known as a works-based salvation, in which salvation does not come through faith alone, but also through good works. Charles Sheldon was the first minister of Topeka Congregational Church and took this position seeking to solve issues going on around Topeka at the time. There had been a mass exodus from the South of mostly African American people who were fleeing from Jim Crow laws and harsh discrimination from the Redeemers and members of the KKK after Reconstruction. Over 3,000 people migrated to Topeka, most of them being uneducated. Charles Sheldon realized this and started helping them with things such as job training, building literacy, and education. He realized a lot of the parents with their new skills needed to work, but they had no daycare, so Sheldon started the first kindergarten. In this kindergarten/daycare, Charles made it a priority to educate the children, and they grew up with successful job titles such as doctors and lawyers. Charles Sheldon wrote a very popular book called In His Steps, in which was a collection of stories that talked about what Jesus would do in modern-day society. Another historical person was Theodore Roosevelt, who led the conservation movement. Theodore Roosevelt was the 26th President of the United States and played a big role in the Progressive Era. Roosevelt was known for his Square Deal, which focused on control of corporations, consumer protection, and conservation of natural resources. Control of corporations was mainly about breaking trusts. Roosevelt supported antitrust laws such as the Sherman Act, which made it illegal for competitors to make agreements with each other that would limit competition. An example of this would be price fixing. For consumer protections, Theodore Roosevelt worked with Congress to pass the Pure Food and Drug Act and Meat Inspection Act to put an end to the unsanitary conditions especially prevalent in the meat industry. For conservation of natural resources, Theodore Roosevelt set aside federal national reserves which would become national parks such as Yosemite and Sequoia. Roosevelt talked about the nation as if it had a soul. He was very passionate about the natural land of the United States.